Welcome to another Founder Wisdom Pod with Gregory Moulton with us today. He's a business automation expert. So we're going to talk about automation, which is one of my favorite topic. Maybe Zoho. Zoho, I know they've done some progress, but might give a thought on that one. He has run a real estate business for more than 15 years. Let Me Property exited out of that. So was congratulating Greg on that huge accomplishment. This podcast is brought to you by my company, podpire.com. If you want to start scale, be invited to podcasts or even get great sponsors. Podcasts are just great. They can teach you a bunch of things. I learned from 15 CEOs a day. They can grow your network and also grow your network with a TH, because you get leads, you get clients off these. They're pretty much amazing. And you can get paid by sponsors, of course. So Greg, welcome to the pod. Can you tell me a bit more about yourself and about ZE Partner?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me on. So ZE Partner is my consulting business that I started after selling Let Me and Moulton Estates, which was my property business. Mostly I work for small to medium-sized businesses in the US, and they hire me to help them set up and customize their Zoho systems for their exact business needs. So I work half-half probably for law firms, and the other half of the businesses are all different types of businesses. So we've got building firms, we've got home service businesses, all sorts of different businesses that I work with, which is a lot of fun. My main emphasis is thinking about how their users are going to use the system and how their clients are going to use the systems, and then how we can automate that to make it as simple as possible and get rid of as many of the repetitive, easy tasks as we can, so the staff can just focus on using their brain power and their manual input on the more complicated tasks that require it.
So what kind of system could you have for my cold email agency? I mean, on sales front, I'm pretty good, more on the upside of things. What could I automate there? And do you also integrate AI into all of that?
So yeah, I mean, we can integrate AI. That's a good question. I'll come back to that. Regarding how one would set up a system for your business, for example, it could be anything. So, for example, I don't know the ins and outs of your business, so I'll give you an example based on my business. So, with my business, when people reach out to me, they will get an automatic email using ChatGPT to kind of answer some of the basic questions and give the client more information about me, but tailored towards what they're interested in. So if they've spoken about the Zoho CRM product, for example, then my ChatGPT system that I've built will speak to my experience and knowledge of Zoho CRM. So that's the sort of initial lead response email. Then there might be some back and forth with the client, which will be me just emailing back and forth. Then when the client tells me they wish to proceed inside my CRM, my Zoho CRM, I've got a button set up there which I click that says, client wishes to proceed. At that point, I have a pop-up window that asks me to confirm certain facts about the client, like their mailing address and their web address and that sort of stuff. A lot of that gets pulled through from my initial lead form, but it's just a final check for me. And then when I click submit on that, I've set up the system so it automatically generates my engagement agreement with the client, and it sends that to be e-signed by the client. Once the client e-signs that, they automatically receive a retainer invoice from me for the initial amount we've agreed for the retainer. Once they pay that, they receive an automatic email asking them to fill in my sort of new client intake form, which includes all sorts of additional information that I might need from them. And then if they don't fill that in or they don't pay the retainer invoice, the system automatically chases them until they've done both those things. Once they've done both those things, then they get moved into closed one on my system, and then they are essentially an onboarded client. And the next step is me just booking an appointment with them to get started with the consulting work. But my system's quite a simple setup, right? I've got law firms that have automated everything from the minute the lead contacts them till the final court forms are signed and have been agreed and accepted by the court. A judgment's been handed down. We click some buttons on the system, and each step along the way, we're telling the client exactly what's going on. We're uploading, returned receipts and things from the courts. So it's incredible. I always say to my clients, we can do almost anything with Zoho. It's just about, is it worth the time investment and the cost? Because obviously my time costs money, their time costs money. So, we need to make that judgment, but almost anything is possible.
Right. And AI, any chances an AI could somewhat do that, or you could prompt Zoho and saying like, hey, once a client received that email, I need this from happening. Once they sign, I need that from happening. When are gonna deploy such a function, a Zoho GPT sort of?
Yeah, so Zoho actually is doing quite a lot with ChatGPT already. So they've got some built-in functions. When you go onto the email editor, for example, you can just give it a prompt as to what you want the email to say, and it'll populate the email with the details. The way I work with my clients in the consulting business, in their systems, it's more rule-based. When this happens, do this. So I don't see much scope for using a ChatGPT style AI in that process at the moment, just because the response you get can be anything at the moment. So when it's rule-based and we can say if this then that, I prefer just to exclude AI from it. We've explored certain options using AI for different clients. For example, I had one client who had a data set of information. So based on what the client said, we wanted to look into that data set and return the potentially matching or important information to the client. So that was one interesting use. But, it's the sort of thing where I have to look on a case-by-case basis. And if a client's need is going to be well met by implementing ChatGPT, then that's what I'll do.
Right. Your real estate business, how big was that exit? How life-changing was it?
I don't want to go into specific information, but it was pretty life-changing. I got to pay off my house, and I've got some other rental properties that I own. I bought some more. So, I'm at the point where I don't have to work if I don't want to work. I could live off the income from my rental properties. But I love working. I find it so enjoyable and challenging doing the work I do now. I love helping other businesses to get efficiencies and automate things. I'm working with some amazing people. I enjoy the interactions with them. And then I really enjoy the coding side of things. I create a lot of what are called Zoho extensions. And these are little programs that the clients can install into their Zoho CRM, and it gives them additional functionality. So one of the ones I've just launched recently, and I'm getting a lot of great feedback on, is called ZE Portal. And that's a client portal extension that allows your system within a few minutes to automatically start sending out client portals to their clients, asking them for specific documents or asking them to fill in specific forms, and it chases their client if their client doesn't do it. And it's so customizable. So, I've got law firms using it, I've got a mortgage broker using it, other financial services companies using it. And it's the sort of thing where no matter what your business is, you can customize it really easily from the sort of front end user perspective to do exactly what you need it to do. At the moment, I'm working on one that's going to bring voice messaging and SMSs into the CRM, so you can send little voice notes back and forth to the clients. It'll transcribe phone calls you've had. It'll allow you to send text messages, either manual or automated. And I spend my days writing cool bits of software like that, and learning new skills, and yeah, just love it basically. And when the day comes that I no longer enjoy this, I may give it up, I may move on to something else, but right now and for the foreseeable future, I'm very much enjoying this.
How do you get your new clients?
It's incredible. So I never expected to go into this, to be honest. I literally just started making a few YouTube videos explaining some tutorials to people because I felt there wasn't enough detailed tutorials out there. There are people who did short little videos and, kind of gave you a brief overview of what Zoho is capable of, but there's a lot of people out there who want to build the customizations and actually custom scripts into their systems. So I started making little videos about how to actually create those scripts, and people just started reaching out to me and asked to hire me, and it's kind of all snowballed from there. It's at the point now where I've got so many consulting clients, I pick and choose the ones I want to work with. And if there's someone I don't vibe with or a project that I don't like the sound of, I'm quite happy just to pass it by.
So precisely, you mean like mostly referrals? Do you have any outbound system?
No outbound leads whatsoever. So I create YouTube videos. In my description on my YouTube video is a link to my website. People go to my website, click the get in touch button, fill in my lead form, and that process starts with the ChatGPT AI responder that kind of messages them back and starts the communication flow.
How much do you charge for your services typically, and what kind of results can the clients expect?
So at the moment, I charge 175 British pounds per hour. So I think that's about $220 or $200 an hour, depending on the exchange rate. And it depends really. So, I've had some clients who have hired me for 10 or 20 hours, which would be a small project. And, they've seen great efficiencies on their side from that, but not a lot of automation. That'll be more so creating small steps and buttons that their staff click on, and it moves them from stage to stage and sends emails out to the clients and things like that, but nothing too drastic. And then I've got other clients who I've been working with for nearly 2 years who, have probably hired me for well over a couple of hundred hours. And they're obviously seeing amazing results because they keep hiring me and they keep investing and building more into their systems. There's a few clients that I have really nailed what I like to call the sort of money printing machine, where they've got such a lot of leads coming in. They've got so many leads coming in that the quicker we can service those leads and turn those leads into money, the more money they get. So what they really need is, they don't need more leads, they need more efficiency. They need me to help them build those processes to make the 5 hours work for every paycheck turn into 15 minutes of work for every paycheck, so they can do whatever it works out to be, 40 times as many paying customers in the time they used to get one.
Interesting. And your growth plan for this year, what do you have?
Excuse me?
Your growth plan for this year, what do you have? What are your top 3 goals?
So my top goals at the moment are focusing on my extensions, because obviously I can only sell every hour of my time once. So I don't want to, I don't want my to be limited by the number of hours in the day. When I go away on vacation, it costs me quite a lot of money. It costs me a lot more in lost revenue than it costs me in hotels and flights and excursions. So which is fine, life's not all about the money, but I do like making money. And I want to focus on these extensions that are very scalable and where they make money for me when I'm not actually billing my time. Somebody's paying me a subscription fee each month to use my different services that I've created for them. So I'd say that's my top goal. I've got personal goals as well. I've always got a goal to lose weight. That one doesn't go as well as my financial goals. And then, I guess on the family side, my wife and I'll probably look to have a child next year. So that's quite a big goal in the foreseeable future.
Wow, congrats on that. Where can people find out more about you, Greg?
So my YouTube channel is Zoho Expert, all one word, or my website is zepartner.net. And I'm always happy for people to reach out to me. I've got a community going on both YouTube and my website where I take video requests from people. So if somebody's struggling with a specific area inside Zoho and they want me to create a tutorial video, they can reach out to me there, or they can comment on one of my videos. And if a lot of what I do nowadays is more on the business consulting side than it is just on the Zoho side. So I've got clients who have been reaching out to me who don't even use Zoho, who just want to hire me to assist them with their businesses. Because step number one that we go through when I take on a new client is they explain how their business works to me. I ask them lots and lots and lots of questions, and then I help them come up with a more efficient way for their business to run. And sometimes, just like talking therapy, sometimes it's only by having somebody really question you and say, well, why do you do that? Well, do we have to do it that way? That you realize, oh, my business is inefficient. I can change this. I can improve this. So, I guess that's another goal for me, is to grow that side of the business a bit more, because I really enjoy that. I like the challenge of learning about new businesses and then helping them to become more efficient and more productive.
All right. And my name is Charles Cormier. I'm host of founderwisdompodcast.com. If you want to start a pod, that is podpire.com. That was Greg Moulton.